Hello, my name is Ted Robinson. If you have panic attacks or anxiety attacks or whatever you want to call them, I don't do any diagnosis, but you know if you have those things or if you've had them. People start huffing and puffing. They start acting very strangely or oddly. They're out of control, it seems. They just don't know where they're at sometimes. They just have to escape, that kind of feeling. People just don't know what to do about that, and oftentimes an EMS worker will give them a brown paper bag to blow into and out of, and all that sounds good, and eventually it resolves, but that's not the best way, in my view, to get through them. The best way is to use emotional freedom technique. Very early on in my career, and I've been doing this for over 14 years now, we had a call at 1 o'clock in the morning. My girlfriend's friend thought she was having a heart attack, and she had the EMS people there, and she called us because she needed help. So we went right over at 1 o'clock in the morning, and the EMS had just finished taking her blood pressure and, of course, handed her a brown paper bag. And she was blowing in and out of it, but she was still pretty racked with upset and panic. So we started tapping on her using EFT, and within about 5 or 10 minutes, it was gone. It was truly profound. At that point, I didn't know exactly why it worked or how it worked, but I just knew it worked. So I had another client walk in to one of my EFT borrowing benefits groups in the middle of a cold and stormy night, and it was very interesting because it was an all-white group of about 8 or 10 people. It was a very small room, and a black woman who I didn't know and hadn't called ahead of time or anything like that, she just walked in. And I saw her face when she first looked around, but she had come all the way, she'd come about a half an hour, driven about 45 minutes to get here. And so she came in and she sat down. She wasn't sitting in her seat for more than 3 to 5 minutes when all of a sudden I heard her like that. And I would look over and oh, she was having a full-blown attack of some sort. And again, I don't use the word panic attack because I don't know what that really is. I'm not a psychologist. But she was going through something that was pretty significant. So I went over to her and I started tapping on her, and I just took a shot at what it was. And I said, even though I feel like I've walked into a Ku Klux Klan meeting and I'm it, and I started tapping on her, and she started to laugh. And the whole group started to laugh, and she huffed and puffed for a little bit longer as we tapped her through the whole thing. And again, within 5 minutes, it was over. So those are just two experiences. I mean, on other occasions, I've had people laying right out on the floor, screaming and shouting, and just kept tapping. And that's happened, about, I don't know, a number of times, a large number of times, in groups and individually, where people just no longer could control themselves. They were just overcome with fear, anxiety, stress, whatever it was. I don't really know. I just know that they all look pretty much the same. They were breathing really heavily, huffing and puffing, I call it, and had no ability to stop. But by tapping on them at the time, they went through it and out the other side to calm, peaceful, relaxed state. Now, that's what EFT can do for you if you have a panic attack. And if you'd like to learn that, just give us a call at the Center for Inner Healing, or you can go to our website at tedrobinson.com, or probably any other EFT practitioner can do the same thing. Just keep tapping. If you haven't learned EFT yet, you have panic attacks or anxiety attacks or whatever they're called, learn it. Use it. In my experience, it's worked so far. I haven't had a single person that hasn't gotten through it successfully. Now, that was with me tapping them, but some of them have told me they've tapped themselves through it as well. As soon as they started to feel it, they started tapping. And that's what you do with that kind of a thing. You just start, oh, I'm feeling a little something, bang, you start tapping. And it goes away right away, in my experience. Now, what other people's experiences will be, I don't know. But I know that's what I've had experience with so far. And I wanted to give you a clue about that, because most people say, oh, breathe through this, breathe into the bags and stuff. It doesn't seem to work as effectively as EFT to me. And that's why I wanted to share it with you now. I hope that helps. Thanks.